Hello and welcome to episode number 15 of the Hafey Digital Podcast, a show for creators, makers, and doers, where my goal is to help you make to the max. My name is Ryan Hafey, and in this episode, it's episode part 2 of 2 episodes ago, where I read through some kind of awkward and cringy, not necessarily, but some old video ideas of mine that I've had. So this is part 2. Let's get into it. Yay! Welcome to the show, everybody. Oh man, what a week it has been. Well, what a month it has been. I think you all know what I'm talking about. And in my case, I'm not monetized at all, so I can say it. We're talking about the coronavirus, COVID-19, y'all. I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about that because everyone and their mom has been just talking about that. I need to figure out what's going on here because it says, everything says it's public. Okay. For whatever reason, my chat is unable to connect. I wonder if I can, no, I don't want to refresh that. That could be bad. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of stuff's been happening in the world in the past week. My employer has us working from home now. The governor of Nevada just announced that all schools will be closed in Nevada through April 6th. And this was just like a couple hours ago, if that. And actually, the school closures will be even longer because at least for my kids, their school goes on spring break starting April 6th, I believe, or around that time. So they'll have an additional week beyond that. It's, it is what it is. A lot of discussion about that. I know across the nation, a lot of people were closing schools and things. Sorry, drinking some mango bubbly today and getting the burps as usual. By the way, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the podcast, you're watching live, click that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And be sure to follow me on social media at Ryan Hafey on Twitter and Instagram. And let's have a chat. Back to the topic at hand. So, the kids are out of school. And there was a petition going around for people to sign. I don't even think it got to a certain point before the governor said, "Now we're closing them anyway." I don't want to get into a bunch of different opinions. I'm an overly optimistic person in general when it comes to all this kind of stuff. So for me, my whole thing is just, the fact that everyone in the world right now, literally everyone in the world is talking about this thing. And, it's kind of a big come together moment in a lot of ways. They say what's the word? Something about once you've hit rock bottom, the only way you can go is up. Not that we've necessarily hit rock bottom, but we've certainly hit a point in all of our lives where it's like, okay, we're all being humbled a little bit, and I think good things come out of that. So yeah, some people are going to get sick. Yeah, there may be some people that pass away as a result of all this, but ultimately, hopefully this will be an eye-opening experience for everyone, and ultimately it'll be a positive outcome for humanity as a whole, and we can make some positive changes out of this. Like I said, the fact that we're all talking about it is a good thing. And if you're worried about it, just look, do what everyone's recommending that you do. Wash your hands. Try to avoid large groups of people. If you feel symptomatic, if you're sick at all, just stay home, stay away from people. Self-quarantine yourself. Don't go out when you don't have to. Knock it off with all this stocking up on everything. It's annoying. Couldn't find a bag of flour, like when it gets to that point, like I ran a poll on Twitter. I think there were only a few responses to it, but I was asking people how long they were stocking up for, and one of the responses was 3 to 6 months, which to me just seems insane. And it's those just personal opinion, but it's those people that are ruining it for everyone that are going out and stocking up on 6 months worth of toilet paper so nobody else can get any. It's just crazy. It's interesting listening to people talk about it and freak out and everything. It's whatever. Just my 2 cents on it. Not that I have much of a voice in this whole discussion, but it's all everybody's talking about, so might as well join the conversation. Anywho, updates as far as this podcast studio goes. Not really much to update on at the moment. I didn't do a ton of work in here. I am working on the new video. Believe I've mentioned it before. Been working on it here and there over the week. The new video is going to be um, an in-depth look into all the gear and setup that's required to create a podcast studio that will allow you to do what I am currently doing. So look for that. Hopefully within the next couple days. It's all recorded. It's mostly edited. I've just got to fine tune it a little bit, add in some titles and things like that, add in a little bit of music, and it'll be up. So that should be out probably, I'm going to guess within the next 2 to 3 days. So if that's something you're interested in, and there's no coronavirus talk in it at all. So you can look forward to that also. Yeah, I had a, it's just crazy, all these closures. Sorry, I'm going back to the coronavirus discussion again. I had a gig. I was supposed to shoot photo and video for a company, and then there were going to be. I shot one. So basically, they were hosting 3 events across the country. One of them locally, the other 2 in different cities. I wasn't able to film those, but basically, I was going to film the one locally, collect footage from videographers from the other events, and then edit a short recap video. And the event was, I think it was on the 7th, I think. So I went out, filmed and shot video for this event. And then a couple of days later, they said, hey, by the way, the other 2 events are canceled and we're concluding this project, which I was okay with. I was okay with because it kind of frees me up a little bit to do some other things. Obviously I still got paid for the work that I did, and they didn't explicitly say it, but I have to assume that the cancellation of the other 2 were a result of everything that's happening right now. So yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, I wanted to do something a little more lighthearted today, and that is do a part 2 of reading my video ideas. So 2 episodes ago, episode 13, I did a video where I pulled up my list of just various video ideas that I've written down over the course of the years, and just kind of read through them and got my own reaction out of them. I guess the whole point is just to have a little fun with it, but also, hey, if anybody out there listening gets an idea and wants to take it and run, by all means, do that. So let's jump into that and have some fun here. So we've got the last one I did, I think, was linear progression with math. Okay. Next up, create a rig. Did I start from the top here? Yes. Create a rig that films directly into the focus prism on top of the Canon AE1. Great creative with how camera will mount, and now rig will be used on gimbal. And vlog this process. I must have had some typos there, but I remember this one. So this was referring to, and I put in my notes the Canon AE1, but you can't. So I'll show you what I mean here. So on this Miranda Auto SensorX SLR film camera, you can remove the focus prism on the top, and you can see there as I kind of put the lens cap over. If you look through the top there, you can see what's coming in through the lens. And the thought was to use in here, just for reference here, you can see that the Canon AE1 does not have a removable, I think it's called a focus prism. I'm not entirely sure. But the concept here was to remove this and then create a rig. And I actually tried it, where you would put like on some sort of quick release plate here, and then use a friction arm like the one that's holding up my camera. Again, you can kind of see it this little device I have clamped to my desk. These things are super sturdy. They're not cheap. It's like $125 for this thing. But when you tighten it down, I mean, you can kind of see things shaking on my desk, but it's holding pretty firm. But I was going to put one end here, a bar going up, and then mount on the other end a camera shooting down, so that basically I would be filming directly into this here. Just use like a tight lens, a long lens of some kind. I think I figured out that like a 24 to 70 would work at the 70 millimeter focal length. I think I was just far enough away from the camera when I set it up to not have to worry about any minimum focal or focus distances or anything like that. Problem was in my testing, there was a little bit of shake. I mean, the friction arms are good, but they're not going to be 100% foolproof. So if I really wanted this to be, unless I wanted to do some post stabilization, friction arm would have been it would have worked. Just maybe not as well as I would have liked. But that could have been kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that again one day. Buy a table dolly and get 6 shots with it. Fun one, I put. So table dollies they just look like little skateboards with like skate or like rollerblade wheels, and instead of like a slider that's on a track, let's see if we can find one. Why not? BH photo video table dolly table. You know, sometimes I feel like this noise gate on here. Hang on. Medium, strength, medium. Because see how it kind of, if I'm not talking loudly enough, it'll sort of like drop the voice down a little bit. Let's see, do I have any filters going on here? Audio filters. Nope, no filters at the moment. So it must be, so maybe the compressor? Check. Hello? Okay, well, let's operate with the compressor off for a little bit and see if that changes anything. Here we go. So these are table dollies here. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's got a little articulating arm on there. Something like this would be kind of cool. I guess the concept was just pick one of these up and find a way to create some really cool looking shots, maybe some product shots using that. And shoot, that's only $34. Looks like it got some good reviews. May have to check that one out sometime. Anyway. Next, what else I got? Hold up here. Make a short doc style video about Hafey Digital / me make as Hafey Digital channel trailer and marketing tool. That's boring. By the way, I'm still getting that weirdness from the audio here. So I'm gonna turn compressor back on. I can see how that changed the audio a little bit. It's got to be the noise gate. But now that I turn the noise gate off, you can totally hear the computer. It's, at least in my headphones, it's super loud. Huh. Interesting. I wonder how that sounds. If anybody's watching out there on the YouTube's live, let me know how the audio sounds with the noise gate off. But I guess for now, I'll turn it back on and just talk a little bit louder. Let's see. This doesn't sound like a video idea, but just more of like a kind of a general thought. I said, does mildly underexposing Cine 2 footage give quote unquote extra room to adjust the highlights, since that's where more of the data goes? Or maybe data is just being added to darks and shadows. Do film tests, underexposed footage versus correct exposure and color grading effectiveness. Yeah, okay. I mean, I use a Cine 2 picture profile typically now. And, you know, everyone has done, there's been so many videos done like this, how to expose this type of picture profile, how to expose that one. In my case, unless anybody was really interested in it, and I haven't got an indication that anyone really is, you know, there's plenty of information you can find about that. For me personally, I don't really need to do any more testing. I'm pretty comfortable with the picture profile I use and my exposure techniques going into that. So, yeah, we can probably move on from that one. Freeze frame video using multiple cameras. Think Matrix bullet dodge shot. Okay, I remember this one. So the concept here was to find as many cameras as I could in the house. It could be this camera, it could be a phone, it could be GoPro back there using, you know, the RX100 up here. anything that I could find and set it up in sort of a circular pattern around me, and I guess set them all to high frame rates, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought through it a whole lot since I jotted it down in here, but the concept would be, no, I guess you wouldn't. Well, I guess you would want to do slow motion if you wanted to make it look slow, but if you wanted to just kind of get a swooping shot as you sort of dodged a bullet, you could probably just film it 24 frames a second or whatever, right? I would think so. But yeah, that was the concept. Find a way to set up everything so that I could sort of mimic that shot like they did in the Matrix. Maybe one day. That would be kind of a cool concept though. Take some movie ideas, like some shots from a movie. And again, I know I wouldn't be the first to have done this, but find creative ways to replicate those shots. That bullet dodge shot from the Matrix being one of them. 2 ways. Okay, this one. Let me see. I titled it 2 ways. Film 2 people running towards each other. 3 cameramen or women. Two of them to follow each other running towards the center. Two to follow each other. 2 to follow each running in towards center. 1 to maintain a central position, then pen out when runners and cameramen meet in the middle. I think this was just literally just like an idea I had for kind of a cool camera technique. It wasn't an actual like video. The concept here being, okay, you've got people. These are the subjects in the frame, right? And they're going to kind of walk in towards each other, and then there's going to be like a third person in the center. I think I'm remembering this correctly. So they'd all kind of walk in, and then there's going to be 2 cameramen here shooting towards them. So cameramen here, subjects here, right? And then the subjects and the cameraman will walk towards each other at the same time. All the while, there's a third cameraman that's sitting static in the center, shooting towards the third. This isn't making any sense. Hold on. We're gonna make sense out of this. You watch. For those of you listening, I just pulled out a whiteboard and you're missing out because we're going to get very detailed here on the Hafey Digital Podcast. Okay. So, for starters, you've got, I'm going to put C1, C2, and C3. All right? And I'm going to put S1, S2, S3. That's C1 for camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. S1, 2, 3 for a subject 1, 2, and 3. So, the cameramen and the subjects, cameramen 1 and 2, are going to have the same movement. All right? Okay? So, at the same time, cameraman 1 and subject 1 are going to walk towards the center, or subject 3 and camera 3. And then the same thing's going to happen with cameraman 2 and subject 2. And the concept was, by the time they get to the center and cameraman 3 is filming here, these 2 camera angles could be kind of blended together with this camera angle, and then you'd have all 3 subjects kind of walking towards. So it's sort of like these 3 clips coming into each other and merging, if that makes any sense. Not that interesting now that I kind of think back about it, but there you go. That was the idea. That was the idea for that one here. Vlog parody is my next idea that I wrote down. Film a scripted vlog making fun of typical vlog style. For example, film in public and say, "And here I am filming in public because I'm facing my fear." Quote. What's that? I can open one and say, "Hey subscribers, this is a part where I say my name and my tagline if I have one." So sometimes when I get these ideas, I'll write down little if the thought is formed in any way, shape, or form, I'll write down what I've already come up with and just jot it down in there. Those being two simple examples. But I remember kind of thinking about this, like, oh, you could totally parody guys like, Cody Warner and Peter McKinnon. There are certain vloggers out there and filmmakers who have a very distinct vlog style. So I don't know if it would be any good because I don't know, but I've never tried. But and really, with what I'm doing now, I don't know if this would necessarily fit anymore. But some of those parody videos, like if they're done well, they can be pretty funny. I don't know if I'd be able to pull it off, but hey, I'll leave it in the notes. You never know. Maybe one day. Vlog to music with movement. Synchronize a talkless vlog to music with camera movements matching the pace and rhythm of a song. And then I said there are too many H's in rhythm. Okay, that's an interesting sidebar to that idea. Thinking back, I don't know how I would have gone about accomplishing that unless I picked the music in advance and then would play it anytime I was recording, right? Unless I, use a lot of speed ramping or something to sync it up. That sounds like it'd be kind of a lot of work and the payoff wouldn't be that great. It's funny how this works. You get all these ideas and then when you come back to it, it's like, whoa, this is, what was I thinking? Anyway, next one. Animate with Premiere using emoji parts and keyframes. What did I mean by that? Find emoji parts and animate them into scenes. Oh, okay, I remember this one. Find emoji parts and animate them into scenes using only keyframes. Nest related parts down from the head in groups of 2. Group the head and neck, then group then group that nest with the chest. So, in other words, let's do another visual illustration here. I think I probably wrote this down when I was, even though I listed it as a Premiere Pro tutorial. I think I'm somewhat familiar with After Effects, but I think I always opt to use Premiere if I can, just because I'm most familiar with it. And After Effects is a beast. If you've never used it or if you have limited experience with it, you know what I'm talking about. But the concept was find emojis. Let's just any emoji that you could find, like in an Apple store, right? Maybe you had, and by the way, I'm horrible at drawing. But okay, we're gonna start with this. So this is just a smiley face emoji, and then this is kind of the flexing emoji. And the concept was make a body, and you could have used different heads or whatever, but make a body out of different emojis and then animate them together. So, if you had this emoji with this emoji here, you could put an anchor point here on the flexing emoji and kind of rotate it up and down in different directions like that and kind of make it look like it was moving. And you could do it in Premiere. Even that doesn't make any sense. But you could do it in Premiere with nests and things like that. Probably wouldn't be as nearly as simple as doing it in After Effects, but thought it might have been kind of cool. Again, one of those ideas that I'm like, whatever, maybe not. But it was fun to think about. What else have we got? Oh, yeah. I remember this one. Video cut-in effect. Film video as normal. To perform the cut, pull the dry erase board away from the camera. Allow the video to continue playing on the tracker dry erase board when cut-in rant is done, and I reverse the original point and resume playback as the dry erase board is brought back close to the camera. Wait, do I remember this one? When cut-in rant is done. Yeah, that's what that was. Oh, yeah. So I think what the concept was, let's say if I was talking like this, I could film a second clip where I pull back the dry erase board and in it would be another clip of me talking, and you could track the movement of this. Now, this would be a little bit difficult, kind of. I mean, just because it's not standard 16:9 aspect ratio, you'd have to kind of form it to that, whatever. I mean, you could just crop it on the sides, but concept was is you pull it out, and then you could kind of put it back on the screen by bringing the dry erase board to it. A lot of tracking and keyframing in After Effects, I think, would have been required for that. Yeah, whatever. Again, none of these ideas are that exciting. I'm pretty boring. Daily Instagram story videos. I've thought about doing that a while ago. I think my last episode was titled, Should You Be Doing Daily Challenges? I think about it quite a bit because, as I've said before, I did them. I've done them 2 monthly challenges. They're a month-long challenge, 1 video a day. And I was always very proud of myself when I finished them, but they're a hell of a whole lot of work. But I've been thinking about wanting to do something again that's just smaller scale. Again, doing maybe just a 15-second Instagram story throughout the day, or 1 each day. So we'll see. But that's all I wrote for that one. Fake commercial, film a commercial for a fake product. I think I put that up higher. I thought I talked about that in the last one. Linear progression, Ford Studio. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you know what that was? I think I wrote that one down in a notebook. That's why. Let's find a good one. Let's see. Modern lens versus 70s film lens. Film 2 equals sequences. Mount the A6500 with a 50mm film lens on top of the A7 III with 24-70 at 700 or at 70mm. Shoot in 4K to match crop of the A6500. Create 2 identical B-roll cuts. Compare the film lens footage to the modern lens. Okay, that's kind of cool. If I can make it work, just create kind of a rig basically that on one side or top and bottom, whatever I decide, have a camera like this one here with, I've got an adapter. I think it was for the Canon film lens, but I've got an adapter that I could, that would allow me to attach it to the Sony and then attach it to that one. And then on my A7 III, have a 24-70 or something like that, film 2 sequences or film the same sequence at the same time with 2 cameras rolling at once, and then edit them together similarly and just kind of see what they look like side by side. That could be kind of interesting at some point. Keep that one on the list. Vlog or film where every clip plays in full back to back for the most part. I think the idea there was to be, economical with my filming, and to really sort of like if you shoot film, actual film photography, you have to stop and think, okay, is my exposure right? Is my focus in? Is my framing good? Film photography forces you to stop and think about those things. Unlike digital photography, you just kind of point, shoot, click. Did it work? Nope. Change this. Boom. Kind of keep going. Ooh, excuse me. I had the burps again. But with this, the thought was, okay, you only. I mean, I guess you could technically reshoot it, but you could only use the clip in its entirety for editing. That would make editing a hell of a whole lot easier. Just put things back to back. But you say, okay, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna end with this, and maybe create some sort of in-camera transitions out of it. Might be an interesting sort of restrictive exercise in filmmaking. Oh, wait for a second. How to optimize for multiple social channels. Oh, this one I may do just because my background is in digital marketing, social media marketing. How to optimize one video for multiple social media channels. So, as you know, on Instagram, you can do square videos. They say the optimal video size is, I think, 1080 by 1350, 1080 wide by 1350 tall. Reason being, and that's not quite as tall as like a phone screen. It'd actually be more like from here down. That's the maximum amount of vertical space Instagram will allow before they start cropping off your videos. And the thought is, if you do that, then as people are scrolling through on their phones, your video will take up more real estate on their screen, giving you a better opportunity to catch their eye before they continue to scroll past it, versus a video that's in kind of like the standard 16:9 aspect ratio. As you scroll past it, it might be easier to miss it. So that just being one of the tips, talking about how you can optimize everything for each of the different channels. That's a good one. I could probably do that one day. Use a cable motion camera and create a masked room full of me's, meaning me, as a camera takes multiple passes. I mean, I misspelled a lot of words in these. I guess I'm just writing them down really quickly as I go. So yeah, the Y, I think it's called the Wiral, WIRAL light. I've seen a couple YouTubers make videos about these months ago. But yeah, it's a cable camera. You connect them two sides of, you can connect the two trees or whatever, one side of the room to the other. And I guess the thought was have it run and do identical takes and then just sort of have me masked into different rooms. Again, it's more gimmicky than anything. So interesting idea, but maybe I'll pass on that one for now. Plus, I don't have a cable camera and I don't have any need or intention to buy one, so might as well hold off. Let's see. Drone dolly zoom shot. Okay, I mean that's pretty. There's nothing super interesting about that. Dolly zoom, by the way, for anyone wondering, is where you have kind of the camera moving forward, but the lens zooming out at the same time. So it sort of gives this like weird like compression or anti-compression effect. You could also do it if the camera is backing up and the lens is zooming in. Who was it that was super popular for that? I forget. But yeah, doing that with the drone and really that would just be with digital zoom. So you wouldn't obviously be able to do that, at least not with the, I wonder if you could do that with the Mavic 2 Zoom, because the Mavic 2 Zoom has the lens that has you can zoom in and out on it a little bit. I've got the Pro, so it's just got the fixed lens. So if I wanted to do any kind of dolly zoom effect, I would have to do it in post. But yeah, again, maybe one day I'll do that one. Oh, let's see. How have we done this? Going for about 33 minutes now. All right, let's get a drink of the bubbly. Oh, man. Film, camera dolly, zoom boomerang. Boomerang, okay. Podcast studio tour, did that one. Let's see, I'm starting to get more to the recent ones. So this was actually the most recent idea that I had that I put down on my video ideas, called Tips on the Go. And the thought was, I see myself doing a lot of tutorial content, and this is the one I'll finish with. I'll end here because this is the one that's kind of most on my mind at the moment. But the thought is, instead of doing all my videos here in this office, I'll start doing some more vlogish style content, but they would be tutorials. And basically, I would try to explain the tutorial from my memory on the go. So it could be, just walking around at a coffee shop, whatever, give you the tutorial. And then anytime that I couldn't remember a part of the tutorial, or I couldn't remember the exact button to click or menu item to go to, or if there's something that I was missing, thought was I would pass it off to Office Ryan, who would be me in this setting sitting here. So I'd be out looking to go, all right, so and next step is to press that one. Oh, what button was it? Hey, Office Ryan, get that for me. Cut to me, be Office Ryan, and I'd clarify the answer and basically fill in the blanks. Just sort of me interacting with myself in two different environments. I don't know. I thought it could be kind of a cool way to make tutorials a little bit more interesting. If you have any thoughts on that one, let me know, because stop me now if you think that would be a dumb idea. because I might do it. Just need to keep things interesting, you know? Might just try it just to have fun with it. Anyway, guys, follow me, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to, by the way, to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. If you would like to listen to the audio version of this, if you like, I can talk a little bit more sexy like this to make it a little bit more pleasurable for the audio listeners. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you can listen basically wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, I think, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all that kind of stuff. So if video is not your thing, or if I'm not pretty enough for you, go subscribe there. Otherwise, if you are watching on the channel here, hit the subscribe button on the channel. As always, I stream these podcasts live typically every Sunday around and in the evening time. Today I'm doing it a little bit earlier, 5 p.m. I've done them as late as 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. So come hang out if you're bored. I know there's probably a lot of you that are going to be spending a lot more time at home in the near future, a lot like myself. So if you got the time, let's hang out and have a conversation and nerd out over cameras and gear and stuff like that. So either way, I thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. And everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We'll get through this. It's not that big of a deal. Let's not freak out. We will disagree on some things, but ultimately, I think we all have the same goal in mind. So let's just do what needs to be done to reach that goal, and then we will come out on the other end of it as stronger individuals. So that's all I want to say about that. So until next week, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.